So I love the parable of the talents because it's like okay, when I was thinking about it, I was thinking about how God knew like who to give what. Like to the first person he gave 5, to the second person he gave 2, to the last person he gave 1. So I was thinking like you can and the order of which he gave is how these people stewarded their talents. Like the person he gave 1, the person dug a hole and hid it. I think that's like it's like a testament of like God knows us. Even when we ask for all of these things, he knows what we can handle, what we can't handle. That person who was given 1, he couldn't handle, but out of the mercy of the goodness of God's heart, he just gave him something because everyone has been given something. Most of the times we usually ask for things, yet our character cannot sustain that thing that we want. Our character cannot sustain that thing. So for example, if I want a house of my own, yet where I'm staying in, I cannot be a good steward of that house. Like it's never clean, I never do I'm never faithful with that house. It just looks bad all the time. Why on earth would I be given more, and even the little I have I cannot steward it properly? That reminds me of Joseph. These like okay, when we ask for things, God is going to get the glory. So his name is attached to whatever progress we've made, because I profess the faith. I'm a Christian and I've asked God for this and this, and God has given me. So his name is attached to whatever it is. That means he has to ensure that you maintain it, like you've sustained wherever you are. I was thinking about Nani, Joseph. Yeah, he was. What was he doing? Oh, sorry. Joseph he was at Potiphar's house and he was made to manage. He rose in the ranks and he was made to manage that house. And it's like a foreshadow of how he was meant to manage the affairs of Egypt. You see, but if he was unfaithful in Potiphar's house, then it would have taken him longer to manage Egypt, or because now his character would have had to be built. His character would have had to be tested. If this man would have not gone to jail, do you think that he would have still forgiven his brothers the way he did? Like God is like your faith, all these things on Apitia, God uses all them all for the good. Like God does not tempt people, for he alone cannot be tempted, and there's no evil in him. That's what we're told in James. But the trials, they refine your faith. Also the tests, they're not for God, because God already knows your heart. They're to show us how our hearts are, how pali tumefika. Like for example, if I'm struggling with gossiping, or if I'm struggling with immorality, and then I get an opportunity to commit the same sin and I fall for it, that will show me like pali nimefika, I'm not yet over this sin. Look, this is still a sin that clings so close to me, and in Romans we're told to achilia, to every heavy weight that clings onto us, that we let go of them. So that being said, God is interested in your character, not only in you being okay, because there are things that if you got right now, your character would not allow you to sustain them. If you got a business right now with about, like, the bigger the business, the more the employees. So God is not only entrusting you with a business, he's entrusting you with people's livelihoods. Yeah. And if you don't have the character or the capacity to be able to sustain that business, then all those people who are under you, then they don't get anything. They go home and they're out of the job. Like, are you getting it? Anything, God put his word above his name. He's put his word above everything. So if he said that something is going to happen, it's going to happen. But he has to ensure that you have healed enough to get it, that he has uprooted every root of bitterness, every jealousy, everything, and he has exposed even the inner parts of you to yourself, not to other people, but to yourself, so that you can be able to know you have an issue here, you have an issue here, and your character cannot support it. Which is why self development and self awareness is so important, because now you want a business, but you don't have you don't have the skills to be a good business person. You have no skills in you don't know how to manage money, you don't know how to manage employees, you don't know how to do customer service, you don't know how to do all of these things, but you telling God, may I have a business, you know? Which is why I usually wonder why people are so happy when they go to church and then they're being told that, oh, 1 million is entering your bank account now, and then you say, I receive it. Where? How? How is this supposed to happen? Like, God doesn't do such things. Like, He isn't someone who just gives you for the sake of giving. Because if He's blessing you, then He's supposed to bless other people. He's blessing other people through you. Yes? He's already taken care of that whole generation. So if He blesses you with a business, He knows that employees are under a good, like, God cares about everyone. He's not only caring about you. So if He's blessed you with a business, He knows you're going to employ people. So those people are sorted, because you have the skills necessary to ensure that they are sorted and they are well taken care of. Yeah. So I think we should start praying that, God, may you show me the limitations that are in me that would prohibit me from getting this thing. If you have a business idea, God should be the first person you speak to about it. You should meditate upon it with scripture and with God, and you tell God, like, I really want to be in business. And God will tell you, yeah, listen to this, do this, do this, do this, network this way, all the things. And yeah, take it to God. Take it to God, and then take it to sound counsel. Sound counsel, do not get counsel from the ungodly. Psalms 1, don't take counsel from the ungodly. But also Proverbs tells us that in the counsel of many plans are established. So people who you trust, and people you ask God who to trust with this thing, how are you going to establish it? Yeah.